All right, so Happy New Year's. This year, last year I told myself I was going to trade a couple pairs. So gold, GN, and indices. This year, it's the same, but I'm taking indices down to only SPX. Actually, let's go. Which one to trade this year? US 30 only. Yeah, let's do US 30 only. US 30 gold and GN because GN really took advantage of me last year. So we'll see. I will show you why it took advantage of me last year, and we'll get to some stuff today. I won't be trading probably into the end of this month because I don't really trade in January. So let's take a look at some craziness out here in the world. So first thing, looking at gold, we had a great year last year for gold. We took advantage of a lot of big movements. I can show you a lot of stuff we saw. So this was in March. We took this major sell down. Took advantage of a lot of these trades. And like I said, January was back here. So we weren't even doing nothing in January through this whole time frame. So it was making moves upwards. February, we looked at taking some trades. I think we talked about potentially buying this at that time. But then once we got to the strong level that we had noticed, which was a all-time high, as you can see, I was like, oh yeah, we're at an all-time high. Like let's see if it's going to hit this spot again, like it did here, and just reject off of it. And that's why we took that sell. Now, if it would have broke that high, then if it would have broke this level here and continued upwards, we would just got the trade. But since it came here, we realized the risk, but we knew that that reward would be a lot better if it just came down off of a major high, which would happen also in 2020. Because basically almost the exact same thing. Hit at this level, dropped for a while, consolidated. They came back up to the same level again. Didn't even break above it at all. Hit it and then sold off again. So now we're looking to see what we can do for this year off of this. Right before I took a Thanksgiving and Christmas breaks, we were already in a buy for here. It's starting like it's about to be throwing a flag at us very, very soon. But as we can see, it's why it's important to keep history of your stuff. You start to see like, okay, this was a strong level at one point. Okay, is it still a strong level now that we're looking at it again? So we even things that are rejection off of here. First thing we see, the first major push it had, it came up to the same level that we call strong at 804, and then they rejected off of here. Then when it finally broke through here, it started testing this area some more a couple of times. So before it made it two major pip moves upwards, it came to the same level, rejected it, and then came upwards. So this is still a strong level. Now, if we're trying to take a buy or continue this buy, I'm looking more to the left to see, all right, what other things, what other some other strong areas that we're looking at, and where is this buy going to? Since I'm not in the trade right now for gold, and I'm not going to try to rush myself in here. I'm going to try to find a good place to get in here that I know is going to be good, and I can sit on it for months if I want to. So the next major move that we saw here at this time was at this 1871 spot, which could potentially come back up here. So I could do a couple of things. I can come on here and go ahead and just extend this to the right. Yay. So now when it comes to this level again, I remember this gray box is supposed to be a pretty strong level, like pretty strong level that we have is going to reject off of here. And when it comes up here, I'm looking to either look for some kind of pip movements or some kind of major move that lets me say, all right, I'm going to sell at this level. I can also write me a note here and say, look to sell at this level. Boom. So now I know when it comes up to this spot, why I put this here. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm looking to sell when it comes back up to this spot. And then I'll take my sell here. Now, if things aren't looking good, like if it does something like a strong candle like this one and blows past here, I ain't probably gonna try to sell it. But if it comes in here and starts to slow down, start throwing wicks at this area, then I'll probably look to get into this area and try to sell us down a little bit more. Probably back down to this level because that's where I want to go to, or potentially further down if it blows past here later on. So that's what I'm looking for gold right now. And this is the first time I'm looking at it for a minute. So hey, what other things we're looking at? We said we're gonna look at GN. I think this is GN. It is. So last thing we looked at for GN before we got out of it, we finally got a win on GN because we called it head and shoulders here. We waited, came to this level, which it didn't get close. It got close enough to me. I was like, it's throwing 2 weeks here. I'm probably gonna get into this. So it came close enough to this level. I'm like, I'm gonna take the buy and risk the drawdown. So what was the drawdown gonna be if I had to wait for it to hit the top of the here, 39 pips. So hey, I could deal with 39 pips if it decides to keep coming up to this spot. Came here, we took the sell, it came down. Now my chain of thought when I ever see head and shoulder patterns or any kind of flag pattern showing, I usually try to take it down to the level of the first major move before it happens. So this candle, then it starts to throw our head and shoulders. And now I'm looking to try to get out this trade at the bottom of this wick or the bottom of this candle. Now what you can see is that we're back here at the spot of that bottom of that candle, that wick. And as soon as it got to the bottom of this wick, what did it do? It rejected it. Came here, rejected it. Now it's forcing itself up. And now we're looking to see either is it going to break this level that we have here, or is it going to continue upwards? So either we break it down or continue upwards. I originally wanted to come down to this spot here at 188. It's looking like it's starting to slow down. As you can see, some of the candles are starting to slow down. And as you can see, it's rejecting the spot. So either it's going to come here or it's going to reject here, and then we're looking to get out of this trade. So we'll get out this GN trade if it continues to go upwards, or if it continues to go down to that 188.020, then once we get to this spot, we'll get out the trade and we'll stop being greedy. But if we looked at it right now, we should be up. If we go from here to there with the lowest that we saw was at 578. Right now, about 461. So we're not doing too bad. Reason why we were taking losses was because of drawdown. So we kept getting issues with drawdown in GNs throughout this year, I think. So actually, that's last year. There we go. March, around the same time frame, we were trying to, we were eating off of gold. We were getting beat up here. So we kept trying to take these sales to come down to this level or lower below this, and GN was not giving us any play here. Should we look at taking sales here? Yeah, because the trend, what was the trend at the time? Well, the trend at the time was actually in buys, but we were trying to sell this because we're great people, which we should never counter trend trade. But the trend looks that way because we're looking on the daily. So that's why we took this buy and we ate off the buy. But when we try to turn around and take the sell, we weren't doing too well. And this is from 2021. But 2022, we didn't do too well. We caught a sell here to this level. We wanted to come here, but every time we wanted to come here, it kept coming to this other level that was actually stronger than this one, apparently. So that's why we changed that spot to blue, because we identify, all right, yeah, every time it comes here, it does not want to break this level at all. So we're going to turn this into something stronger and then continue to make our moves. So it did not want to break here as we wanted to. Didn't want to break again here once it hit the top of that channel. It just kept coming out. It did exactly what we wanted to do when it breaks the channel. Retested the channel, and it took offwards. So once we did this, we saw, hey, it's forming a head and shoulder pattern, and we should probably get into this sell again. So look at us selling again like crazy. But at least this time we actually caught an actual trade here, and we're actually eating off of it. Sweet. And then US30, I do not have in my charts. I should probably change that. Let's go to US30 USD. We were in sales. If you watched my channels video, if you didn't, you should probably watch my channels video. But like we were saying, we were in our channel, it broke outside the channel, retested the top of the channel. Now we're getting buys. We also see that this formed like a head and shoulders here, which is crazy, and it threw a wick. So that usually means that it's about to sell. And also retested the neckline of that head and shoulder pattern, and it's continuing. So we're not in a trade for US30 right now because it's making these major moves. We're trying to get to a good spot that we actually get in this trade. So keep an eye out for it. I'm not seeing anything I want to get into it, or I'm not like going crazy or juicy. I'm like, oh, this is looking really like a great setup for me right now. What did you think, Zay? Did you say something about this being a good setup?
From the 3 month, yeah, I'm looking for a possible quarterly pullback to start the beginning of the year for the first quarter. And that'll pull back on the 3 month and possibly wick. And then I'm looking for a bullish reaction from there. That'll then entice everybody else probably come into the second quarter with you've got a bullish engulfing with a possible another bullish pattern. If we can get another bullish candle to close out the first quarter, then it's bulls all the way after that. Lower time frame, you're going to want to, some type of pattern, but I'm not going to look for it until that first quarter pullback.
I understand. Like I said, if I was looking at this trade and I was watching it in real time and I was trading around this time period. Only thing I would have took the trade off of, I would took the trade off of the retest of the channel here. I would have, if I didn't miss that, if I missed that one, I would have took the trade off of the Head and Shoulders retest here. And those are the only 2 times I would have took a trade in this at all from that point on. I was already in a trade here for this buy. And then we try to sell it and we realize here at this sell point, hey, this ain't coming back down. So we got out of this trade. And then we started buying again. I would have took the retest here and I would have made some money off of that, off of this buy. Cause I always trade retests of channels. So I would have made some money here. And then I would have made some money off of this neckline retest. So pretty simple things that we're doing. I don't trade a lot of, because if you look at this channel, the reason why this is a good spot to trade here is because it's at a very strong level of structure, which we identified both of the blue lines that we have here. We've already built these a long time ago. So very strong level of structure here. What it do, came right up to it. I didn't draw these. I didn't draw this today. I didn't draw this last week. These have been drawn probably for years now at this point. I'm not even gonna hold you like that. Like probably months, years. This probably been drawn. I think this one was drawn since COVID, honestly. It's like it's drawn since COVID. So 2 years ago, or 2021. So yeah, about 2 years now since we're in 2023. Happy New Year's. But yeah, these have been drawn for years. That's why it's important not to just go out and erase your charts. Once you start seeing, hey, these things are coming, these candlesticks or these patterns are coming back to these same levels of structures, and they're hitting them exactly the same way they did back in the day, and you can still eat off of them. So there's no reason for you to even erase some of these sometimes. Just make sure you identify the really strong ones by being a different color and having like a weaker ones. I have my really strong ones thicker and blue and my okay ones orange and really thin. But that's all I do really. I'm eating off of just support resistance and channel stuff most of the time. I don't do too much crazy stuff looking for every once in a while I'll use an RSI to really give me like, oh yeah, this is eating, like this is about to take it. Now, same thing again. If I saw this channel at the top of here, that's why we took this trade, because it was at the top of the RSI and it was already broken out of. Gave me identification here. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's about to go. I would have took it here because it's forming Head and Shoulders. And then any other patterns I'm looking at, RSI is just my final identifier. If I see something in here, I'm thinking about taking this trade and my RSI is at the top and I can eat up, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm taking that trade and I'll take it probably as soon as I see it. But anything outside of that, I don't use too many indications anymore. Even like emails, I don't use too many emails anymore, but I can. It's gonna be a great year for oil. If you haven't looked at the yearly one, it's gonna be a great year for oil. It's got to retest. Wait for this retest of this neckline, which I think is gonna be the major structure for it. The monthly one looks great. This is the start of the year, but even last month came down. But if it didn't, we would have had a stronger candle. It probably would have ended at the top of this wick here, which would have scared some people away. Great year for oil, but I won't be trading oil this year because I'm only trading gold, US30, and GN. So those are the three charts I'm looking at. These are the projections I'm having for the year and what I'm seeing. And these are some of the trades that I'm watching set up and what I'm planning on trading when I see those setups happen. Anybody got any questions? You always hit me up. I'm pretty simple trader here. You start seeing when I start putting my my charts out, and I start putting in my what's it called, examples, or my trades, my journal out. You start seeing I don't take a lot of trades in a month or whatever. I just take good trades, and if I don't see a setup happen, I won't take a trade.